Hi there, welcome. Today, is it worth summoning for Jezebelle? You know, the ancient summons that you've saved up, whether you've got a few, a lot, whatever. Should you put it into this particular summon event? I would say absolutely yes, for two good reasons. One, Jezebelle is arguably account changing for Arena and some other areas. Even Malric, you know, the lava missions, you go into them. Because of her range, she can dispatch and take out a variety of enemies from different angles. It actually does work on some. I don't know about level 4, but level 3, definitely. Second reason why you should summon on this banner is because you've got the choice for once. You've got the choice in regard to which legendary ancient who you may not have another copy of, or you may just not have someone. And some of the top picks, if you don't have Valara, you go for Valara. You don't have Gretchen, go for Gretchen. And Durza as well. Why? Because he can boost your team, and he's never really on banner, and he's really hard to get. He's always hiding in the background, so go for Durza possibly. I don't know if I can show you the preview or anything. No, it won't, because it's locked in now. But I went for Valara, and thankfully I managed to pull Valara after over a year or so of trying here or there. Missed the odd banner as well. Didn't always have the resources. Finally got Valara, so I was kind of lucky. Jezebelle managed to pull her too, so I've used her, and it's made a massive difference. I already had somewhat of an established team as well. Can I show you, possibly? Defense. Right. Yeah, it's not the ideal, but this is what I'm working with right now is for anti-air. You got Jezebelle as the Lord, followed by Dracula, Valara, Dalchan, and even Beelzebub, which is interesting considering that 3 of them aren't even affinity with the faction, so they're not getting a boost. And yet, that has got me to Overlord. And if you take away the top 500 in the world, as in the leaderboard, as for points, I have managed to get to, what's it called, Apex Overlord as of yesterday. But the badge didn't show up because I wasn't in the top 500. I was ranked 5,000 or something. So it didn't count for me, unfortunately. But nevertheless, just shows how game-changing it really is. Before that, I was using Ivar or Lovar, however you say his name. Tried Arachna as well, and it worked, but Jezebelle is something else, very special. You'll also see that I do have the skin. It was one of the first times ever I've been able to save up the gold to be able to put into a proper legendary skin. Like, yeah, Dracula would have been great, but I didn't have the funds for it at the time. But saving up, free to play, managed to get the Jezebelle skin. Should you go for the skin? That's up to you. Depends what you want. It's basically the light versus the dark. The dark fits Jezebelle, her character, her presence much more. It's more relevant, I would say. But I don't like the colour tone. It's a bit dull in a way. You know, the Black Throne, it's lacking, I guess, contrast, and the glow looks a bit washed out, in my opinion. I mean, it's more ideal, this skin, because it suits her and what she's all about, and that throne, demonic and all, but, you know, this one, it's just visually more clear. Now, you could say that may have been done on purpose, because it's more paid to experience this, if you haven't saved up. The visuals are very nice, with those ice and whatnot. But she's only chaotic, so that's what makes it a bit weird, unless she becomes dual faction elsewhere. Like, if you saw this, you'd think be part of the Arbiter team or the Watchers, Watchguard, because of her pure presence. It's almost like on the verge of an Ingrid in a way, but she's part of the Cursed Dominion, and that's it. So, visually, very good. Animations, though, very satisfying, in my opinion. Let's just see her skills. So, as said, you probably should summon for her, definitely. Even if you only get her A0. A0, she's good enough, providing you got some other units as well, of course, to complement, like Dracula, to get to Overlord and close to Apex, right? The bearer of Seeds of Malice will be immediately executed if the HP drops below 15% of their max HP. You could argue and say maybe she could be used in Gear Raid 1 maybe for all those enemies because of her range and spread. Just click on here. Seeds of Malice deals 40% single target physical damage. Okay, per second. Doubled against airborne units. So ideally arena focused then. And inflicts 25% vulnerability physical damage for 3 seconds. Up to 3 Seeds of Malice can exist on the field. And I believe if you awaken her, you can get that up to 4. Which is okay. It's not like demanded or needed as well. At the end of Seeds of Malice, when they die, or the Seeds of Malice, duration ends, deals 200% AoE damage to 5 enemies within a radius of 1.5 towers around the bearer. This damage is doubled against airborne units, so it'd be 400% damage. That's what makes it unique. If there are no enemies around them when they die, immediately inflicts Seeds of Malice on one enemy target on the field. So yeah. Reduces the hero's cost in the arena by 3. Bit of an odd number. Sometimes it's normally 5 or maybe 4, but 3 is okay. Is it Oren that had that? Yeah, but Oren's much more expensive. Yet Jezebelle, her cost goes down to 13. It's 16, but you take away 3, it's 13. So much better. So you can deploy her, well, not immediately, but quick enough. So you can use her in the first wave and onwards. So really good that the cost is much better, much more efficient. Causes HP drain equal to 10% of current HP to the hero inflicts Seeds of Malice, as we've seen in range. Prioritizing airborne units first. Cannot inflict Seeds of Malice on targets already bearing it. It's not like it can stack. And you'll know when Seeds of Malice targets enemies because there'll be like a circle glow underneath the enemies. And with the skin that I've got on, it's a blue, so it's quite clear to see. And because it stacks up to 3 separate enemies, wait for that, and then use the ultimate, then it will trigger the explosions, and you'll take out more enemies in one go rather than spamming the ult and timing it wrong. It's something to consider. Vessel of Woe. When a basic attack cannot inflict Seeds of Malice, restores 9% rage to the hero instead. So basically, if you've got 3 airborne units in play, let's say Arena, for example, you can't apply any more. So basically, you're just fueling your ultimate so you can get up quicker. And then I guess if you've got a bit of rage regen on her already, as in stats, and then you've got a unit in the background that can restore 0.5 to 1% rage per second, you're going to be able to use her ultimate much more frequently, which is great. Now in Arena, that could work as well, but I've not actually used a rage regen booster healer combo yet. Would it make a big difference? Don't know. Well, yeah, it would make a clearer difference, but to be able to fit it in at the cost of taking out 1 damage unit, that could be tricky. But in other content, you can definitely do it. Unholy Sacrifice. When an allied hero casts their ultimate, causes HP drain equal to 20% of their current HP to them. Reduces Jezebelle's attack interval by 25% for 10 seconds. Much better that than Kanan. That was about 5 seconds. And stacking up to 2 times. I'm guessing that means 50% attack interval then? This effect can only be triggered up to 1 time every 20 seconds per allied hero. Limitations, but to make it fair. Okay. Now, is it worth getting Kanan for the sake of this passive? The other way around, it's worth it, but is it here? Womb of Room. Obtain Kanan. Unlocks the bonus. Increases the execution threshold of Seeds of Malice and the ultimate by 5% and increases damage against airborne units by 15%. Yeah, it's pretty good, that. That execution, you can take enemies out much quicker, ideal, and do a bit more damage on the sideline. It's a win-win. As for a Lord skill, people have said it's not as good compared to others like Valderon, or is it what's it called? Khan or something. Increases faction team members' basic attributes by 15%. Increases faction team members' damage and penetration based on their lost HP, up to an increase of 60% and 20% respectively at 30% HP. Faction team members gain 0.5% rage per second when their HP is below 50%, or instead 1% rage per second when below 30%. So, obviously, Chaos Dominion, to do more damage, you've got to keep their HP low. Use a Carnelion, so the HP doesn't go beyond and cancel it out, but keeps them alive and undying in a sense, especially when she uses her ultimate. You want the HP to remain low, not just for the damage, but for the sake of better rage regen. So, I think because of this, it could stack with the likes of, who is there? Alice, her, and the other one, I forgot the name. Yeah, so I think it does stack, which is pretty good. Yeah. But there might be better lords, but to be honest, for me, I don't care. This is good enough. I don't even have a legendary Chaos Dominion lord, so this is a massive upgrade for me, and it might be for you. Now look at this. 700 cost. That's great, that. Much cheaper, this one, compared to Kanan. Cause HP drain equal to 50% of the current HP. Locks onto 2 enemy targets in range and all seeds of malice bearers, inflicting immobilized state. Can I click on it? Unable to move. So a bit of crowd control, and that's for 3 seconds. So what I'd say is, if you're going to use the ultimate, try and time it when there's at least 2 or 3 enemies with the circular glow underneath for maximum damage opportunity. And try and get the enemies as close together. Meanwhile, deals 300% AoE damage to the locked target. So, really, Season Malice without Awaken goes up to 3. 300% AoE damage, best to do that. Locked targets and 4 enemy targets within a radius. So it's on top of all that. So it's good. It is good. I'm sure Gear Raid 1 can see it being used. Radius is alright, 1.5. And as well, removing the Season Malice on them and then executing enemies who are below 20%. Its damage is doubled against airborne units. So I'm guessing when it says 300% AoE damage, it actually means 600% against airborne. So she really is an arena goddess. Right, for sure. Artifact, you might as well go for it again, because like with Kanan, you can summon this one in the artifact summoning pool if you select it. Increases damage by 20%, that's alright. After Season Malice detonates, enemies damaged by them are also inflicted with 25% vulnerability physical damage for 5 seconds. That's a nice touch as well. Awakening, look, if you've got the resources and you're lucky, go for it. Simple as. Because look at that. If there's only 1 enemy within a radius, right, with a slightly more armoured flying enemy, deals 400% damage 1 time. And that's doubled against airborne. 800% damage. That is crazy. Just the numbers are satisfying. That, the usual. Faction by 5%. No harm there. After using the ultimate, the next basic attack can summon 1 extra Seed of Malice. So the condition is after the ultimate, the next basic attack. So based on how it's worded, I guess it's not permanent. But after that ultimate, 1 extra seed. And then it goes back down to 3 until you use the ultimate, and then it's 4 again. So it's probably not that great based on how it's worded. But then this one, oh boy, is where it gets to the big boy area. Seeds of Malice detonates. It ignores 30% of the target's defense. That's amazing. The ultimate deals an extra 200% AoE damage 1 time. And if there is only 1 enemy around, deals an extra 300% damage. And that's doubled. Wow. So it's 400% AoE damage 1 time. If it's one enemy, it's 600%. Insane numbers. And look, like when we had Razak and it would go up to like 900 or 1,000 and that seemed amazing, but it was actually really underwhelming. Well, the thing is with Jezebel, at A0, she's already doing a great amount of damage already. You throw all this onto her, it's going to be even greater. And at A5, when a hero or an ally in range takes fatal damage, a bearer of Caesar Malice on the field, excluding elites and bosses, dies in their stead, and Caesar Malice is removed from them. The protected target then restores HP to 30% of their max HP. So, in good survival. Really, what you want is A1 and A4, and that's hard in a way. It's a shame. Would have been better if A1 and the A4 was actually A3, in my opinion. Make it a little bit easier to reach. So, A1, really good. A4, even better. A3, A5, not as special. A2, ideal. So you get the idea, the pathway. You got the resources, do it. But just consider, you do have Assassin's Creed, that collaboration coming up eventually, which will be an ancient summoning one, at least one of the characters. So, if you want to max out here, feel free to do so and good luck. But if you want to go so far and then stop, or just get one copy, or just get her base, because she's good enough to be a base, that's what I like to do. When it comes to these legendaries, these lords and non-lords, if they can do good damage, or they can do what they say and do it rather well without being awakened, great. I mean, the next best thing would be Valara. Yes, she needs to be awakened to 1 to make her great, but after all that, doesn't really need it as much. That's why I see a lot of A1 Valaras. So, I guess Ingrid as well can fall under it too, as in A0 Ingrid is pretty good. But is she good enough to get you to the higher end arena like Jezebelle? I think Jezebel's more capable A0 than Ingrid, in my opinion. But that might just be the competitiveness, because Ingrid's been out for a while now and more people have multiple copies, so you've got to compete with that. Whereas Jezebel at this moment, people aren't going to have as many copies. So it's a bit more fair, the playing field. But due to the drop rate, people seem to be getting quite a few copies, which is frustrating because I only managed to get A0. But, you know, if you do get more, she's going to become even better. So with that being said, hopefully you summon and it works for you. And yeah, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks for watching. Take care and goodbye.